Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com, and I'm just here to talk about the Cancer 2018 horoscope. So, Cancerians, welcome to 2018. Now, people think that you are inclined to be a little bit emotional, and that's basically comes about because Cancer's ruled by the moon, and the moon has this thing and it brings up all the subconscious contents, so sometimes it's very hard to keep that down. Once it all starts coming up like a volcano all over the place, you can't really put a lid on it very easily. So, you know, things like journaling and writing down how you're feeling and that type of thing will take the edge off it, so that at least you'll be able to, you know, go out into the world without having all that go on all the time. Okay, but 2018, although it has some opportunities for you, it also has some challenges. So you could be tested this year. It's about really you finding your mettle and finding your strength, and not letting people kind of blame you for things and walk all over you and that type of thing. You're going to start to understand what your part is in any dynamics that are going on, especially in relationships. So if once people start that blame game kind of trip, you'll know exactly what part is yours and what part is theirs. And so don't believe people when they say it's your fault. If they use the word fault, you know that's a red flag basically. Okay, so a few challenges at the beginning of the year when Saturn in the 7th house of marriage and commitment. Now Saturn can be a kind of a hard task master, makes you really work on yourself, and so you might find you'll be really working on relationships and partnerships, and of all kinds, not just romantic, also in business or you know, around your family generally. So that goes till mid-January, and then you'll find a bit of a relief basically once that gets out of the picture. So basically, as I said before, go and hide out somewhere and go for a holiday. Yeah. Mother Jupiter is in Scorpio with Mars in the 5th house at the start of the year until 9th of March. And you'll find a lot of opportunities coming up around recreation and leisure, children, fun, love, romance, that sort of thing. It's about creative self-expression, and that's going to be expanding for you at that time, so you'll actually attract people towards you because you'll find this creative side of you really blossoming out. Jupiter then goes retrograde 9th of March until 11th of July, so it might feel like those things are quietening down in that time period, and then Jupiter moves forward again. Now Jupiter's this really, really big planet, and it brings a lot of abundance with it. The only thing about Jupiter that you have to be a little bit careful of is sometimes it kind of gives you a bit of a craving for you know, overindulging in food, in rich food and cakes and things like that. So because it's such a big planet, so much energy, you know, you might want to overindulge. Okay, so next thing, Saturn is also in Capricorn in the 7th house, which is kind of a little bit strange. The 7th house, as I mentioned, it's about marriage, commitment, and the deepening of relationship. Capricorn's a very kind of the sign that's kind of practical, down to earth, older, wiser, more knowledgeable person might be involved here. And so you could find yourself dealing with older people who seem to know more about any given subject, you know, than what you do. So you might be attracted to those sorts of people in that time frame. Okay. Then we've got a very exciting influence. Fiery Mars enters air sign Aquarius in the 8th house in mid-May. Now the 8th house is the house of sex and secrets. It's also about things like psychic ability, transformation, death and rebirth. And so I touched on it before about all these changes and transformational things that will be happening for you next year. You might feel around mid-May, while this influence is going on, it might feel like part of yourself is dying, and it's your identity as you knew it from the past. Now, this is a normal developmental cycle that we all go through multiple times in our lives. So I don't want you to be, like concerned when I use the word dying. It just means a part of you, you're letting go of it, you're going to release it. Kind of like if you think of a snake, and they shed their skin every year or so because they're growing, and that's what you're doing. You're about to shed your identity because you're growing into a new developmental cycle. Okay, so you might feel that mid-May to November, and there'll be lots of opportunities to meet new and eccentric and interesting people, especially because Uranus is visiting the 11th house, also in mid-May. And Uranus is a planet that deals with technology, the internet, lightning, electricity, that sort of thing. So you might find that you meet these really unusual and eccentric people through the internet somehow. Social media could be involved. Go and start an Instagram page or a Facebook page, and you might find that you gather a following, okay, particularly around mid-May to November. Okay, now I was mentioning before, the middle of the year is a good time to be letting go of the past and old hurts. You'll be moving forward. Don't worry, you won't get stuck there, because you'll start to move forward again around your birthday, end of June. And please don't be afraid of these changes. I really want to stress that. Okay, July brings the sun in trine with the moon in Cancer, again bringing you many opportunities. And because the moon is involved, which is your ruling planet, it's a fairly important time. And you might find that your intuition is really increasing, and that your psychic abilities are off the Richter scale. So well done you. 12th of July, a solar eclipse in your sign, which is again helpful for new beginnings and opportunities. You might reinvent yourself. So can you see how these same sorts of themes keep kind of repeating over and over again? So it's almost like if you miss it out on one influence, the next influence is going to come along and do a bit more. So you're going to get there one way or the other. So in summary, a mixed year really, some challenges but a lot of opportunities, some moments of intense pleasure when the 8th house is involved, and some really good times as far as deepening relationships and getting a much stronger commitment in 2018. So please come along to absolutesoulsecrets.com. In the next few days, I'll have the in-depth version of this up on the website, along with the Love Life Horoscope and also career and finances for Cancer. Thanks very much for listening. Bye for now.